Class is in session, hitting the books, the MLB show for Monday, April 28th. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack, back with you after another busy weekend. It was wall-to-wall, not just baseball, obviously, but NHL, Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs, all weekend long. It was a great weekend of sports, and hopefully we get the week started right with a nice smaller Monday card, which we sometimes do get a smaller slate on Monday, but still some good opportunities out there. So we'll jump right in, and we'll begin with a game that starts top of the hour, 6 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians, Gavin Williams and Bailey Ober, the pitching matchup here. Cleveland minus 130, home favorites, 8 the total. I think this price is very cheap for Cleveland. Gavin Williams, not my favorite pitcher, but his home numbers are pretty good. He has a sub-3 ERA at home this year at Progressive Field. He's pitched noticeably better here at home. It's not like we trust this Twins lineup to hit their way consistently against really any kind of pitching from what we've seen this year. So I think Gavin Williams can probably outduel Bailey Ober, who has a 9 ERA on the road this year, entering this start here for the Twins. And same old shit from him. You know, he's not bad at Target Field. He can pitch, be serviceable. But when you get him on the road, it's just not what you want to see. A guy I don't trust hit hard repeatedly again so far this season on the road. So I think all things considered, pretty cheap, reasonable price here. Give me Cleveland minus 130. C-Mac, what do you think? Twins, Guardians.
Yeah, he hasn't been very good on the road. I don't know how great Williams is going to be, but, you know, what do we get from the Twins offense? When I look at this game, I think there's going to be runs, but this could be one that stays under. So I leaned over in this game with our guy Bailey Ober, as he used to say. And I'm on Jose Ramirez here. His RBI is plus 155, a little bit on the Jackets, 4-1, 6 for 19, a couple doubles, a homer in the 3-hole. I think it's a perfect spot to grab him today.
All right, next up, Yankees and Orioles, AL East matchup here. We've got Will Warren for the Yankees and Sugano here for the Baltimore Orioles, Tomoyuki Sugano. We've got the Yankees minus 135, road favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. I mean, there's not a chance I'm back. Now, I will say this, Baltimore is now a home dog, and they're starting to adjust to how poorly it's going for the Orioles. 10-17 now, swept over the weekend by the Detroit Tigers, and I was on Detroit in a lot of those. I still can't back them, even getting the plus price here at home. I don't want to lay with the Yankees, though. I don't like Will Warren all that much. They're coming off a doubleheader as well. That is something that could tilt this maybe in Baltimore's favor if you can trust them to get out of their own way, which they have not been able to do, because they do at least, see, Mac, they catch the Yankees off playing a doubleheader yesterday against Toronto. So maybe that, you know, had to use a lot of relievers and bullpen arms in that game. So the Yankees bullpen might be a little bit strained going into this game tonight. But can Baltimore do anything offensively? I think that's the shocking part of this 1-9 just free fall for Baltimore in their last 10 games, is that in the 9 losses, they have scored 2 runs or less in 7 of the 9 losses that they've suffered. They have just not been hitting the way we expected this lineup to. So, oh gosh, I mean, it's a pass for me from a side perspective. I did bet a small over here. If they can't hit tonight, Warren to me is nothing special. If the Baltimore Orioles at home can't get going tonight, when are they going to? And I'm not a big fan of Sugano. I think Sugano's a fly ball pitcher. The Yankees' power can, I think, be some trouble for him. It's not easy to bet a Baltimore game over 9.5, and I get the concern for it, but I did take a small over. I think the side is very tough. I think it's a situational edge for Baltimore, but they're just awful right now, and I don't want to lay it with the Yankees. C-Mac, what about you here?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to take a shot here with the Orioles. If the Bastards going to wake up against Will Warren, who's just been, you know, all right. I don't know how much longer he lasts, you know, being a starting pitcher. He probably shouldn't be. In the biggest thing you talked about, Sugano, just a guy gives up fly balls, gives up the long ball, which isn't really great against this Yankees lineup. So are they a little tired from yesterday? I don't know. Like, if I had a free bet, I'd look at the Orioles. It's just they can't, you know, you're going to take a team that's not swinging the bat. Well, it seems like they're enticing you too. Plus 120 on them at home. I'm just going to have to wait till, you know, these bats wake up, because you look at these names and, man, they're knocking it done. It's low times right now in April. They need month. They need May. Flip. Sometimes it's just get the month over with. Get into May, get the bats going.
They better get it going in May because I'm telling you what, he will not last the month of May, Brandon Hyde, if this continues much longer. I really, truly think he's on the hot seat right now. This was not what anyone anticipated out of the Orioles, this kind of a start to the year. So they better start winning games, or I think there could be a managerial change there in Baltimore sooner rather than later. All right, next up, Cardinals and Reds. We've got Cincinnati minus 125 home favorites, 9.5 the total. We've got Nick Martinez for the Reds, Andre Palante here for the St. Louis Cardinals. This is another one I think it could find its way over the total. I don't trust. Martinez is one of those pitchers. I was waiting for the other shoe to drop and starting to do that for Nick Martinez. Last 3 starts have been a struggle for him. He's given up 10 runs in his last 14 innings. By the way, the Reds are 0-5 in Nick Martinez starts this year. So that tells you right now, I'm not laying a price with the Cincinnati Reds in this game. I'm not the biggest fan of Palante, though, and he's not been good the last 2 against the Cardinals and Braves. 4 runs in each start, 8 runs in his last 10.1 innings, 14 hits, and 3 home runs in his last 10.1 innings. So that's why I geared toward over. I don't trust either starter. Sidewise, I lean Cardinals, but I'm not rushing to back them either. C-Mac, what do you think here, St. Louis, Cincy?
Yeah, on the total, I kind of lean over too. We'll see the Reds coming, after just an easy sweep over the lowly, horrible Rockies, and then they're back home. This seems like a spot, but Palante has some good numbers. I know he hasn't faced them a ton, and he is on the road here. Cardinals lost, pretty big yesterday. The bats were quiet. I don't want their bullpen, but I got to take a shot with the Cardinals here, first 5 at plus 105. I think Palante can give a few good innings here, then get to Martinez, because I don't want the bullpen. I mean, they've just been bad to start the year. I think they're right around, 26 or 27, and watching them blow a few too has been awful. So I think maybe they can get a few off Martinez here.
All right. I think that's very possible. I don't mind that, actually, first 5. Like I said, Reds have not won a single Nick Martinez start this year, so I'm not laying a price with the Cincinnati Reds knowing that. All right, we've got the Athletics and the Texas Rangers. We've got J.P. Sears, Patrick Corbin, a battle of lefties. Patrick Corbin actually does not stink, believe it or not, so far this season for the Rangers. Even money, minus 110, 9.5 the total in this game. I still like the A's. I'm not buying in fully to the Patrick Corbin Kool-Aid. Yeah, 3.86 ERA. Yeah, 3 runs allowed in his last 10.1 innings. He's certainly been better than we've seen in the past. But the A's are going to get a second look at him. Well, you could say that about Texas with J.P. Sears as well. But Sears has given up 3 runs or less in 5 straight starts. He's been very consistent. They have a winning record when Sears has started. Sears has shut down the Rangers. He's given up just 3 runs in 18.1 innings against Texas, J.P. Sears. And then you look at the last 10 games. This was the difference maker. This was the deal breaker for me in taking Oakland. In the last 10 games, the A's against lefties, they're not hitting the ball well at all. The Rangers, much worse.
The A's have been good against lefties, though.
And the A's have
pretty good. Yeah.
4.3 runs per game and a 275 batting average for the A's against lefties. 225 batting average only for the Texas Rangers against lefties in the last 10 games. I think that could be the difference here. You've got the Rangers coming back from a nice weekend in San Francisco, maybe a little flat spot here for the Rangers potentially. So I took the A's here at even money in this game. Kind of feel with both of these lineups getting another look at the other pitcher. Maybe this is high scoring, but like I said, both Sears has been good and Corbin's been better than expected. But I do lean over. I like the A's though as well. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, and just Ranger games are not going over. The bats just has not been very good. That was a horrible way to end the game yesterday. Just the merry-go-round Little League, throw it away at first, goes around, throw it away at third to end the game.
Literally threw the game away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally threw it away. But you talked about these teams just played whatever it was 5 days ago. I like how the A's have been playing. I try to just stick to them a lot at home. But I think they could get to Corbin. You hit on, versus lefties. They've been top 5 to start the year. I like the lineup today. So I think I like them full game. I kind of like them just first 5. Corbin has been pretty good You can't just fade, Corbin like the old days. Just fade, fade, fade. So yeah, I like the A's first 5.
All right, next up, we've got Detroit and Houston. Jack Flaherty and Ronel Blanco, the pitching matchup. Houston minus 120, home favorite, 7, the total shade of the This total, I agree with the under move. I think it's probably a low-scoring game. Flaherty's been in good form, 2.45 ERA for Jack Flaherty so far 2.67, still very good for Jack Flaherty. Now, he's been victimized by some tough luck here. Tigers have lost his last 3 starts, but he pitched great in each game. Just lack of run support. They got shut out in 2 of those games against Milwaukee and San Diego. And that's still the concern for the Tigers. Sometimes the lineup can go quiet, but it certainly hit Baltimore's pitching pretty well. Ronel Blanco, better start last time out against the Blue Jays, but before that, he wasn't really pitching great. And I don't know how much you want to make into that, because Toronto for the last week, the bats have been fucking dead for the Toronto Blue Jays. So I don't want to make too much out of Blanco pitching a little bit better here. I thought actually Detroit plus money was worth a shot. First 5 full game on Flaherty here and the Tigers in this game. I know Houston avoided a sweep against Kansas City with Hunter Brown, but look what they did before that. They got shut out by Waka and Lugo. They didn't score a run in any of those 2 games. So I think Detroit plus money against the Astros lineup that's still very suspect. I think that's worth a bet. Tigers here in this game. And certainly I agree with the move to the under, but this opened 8. It's all the way down to 7. It moved a full run down. So the value's gone pretty much with that. C-Mac, what do you think here?
Yeah, I like Miller behind the plate here, the umpire, but it's moved a bunch. The 7, it is even money right around there, and the 7.5, right around 125, 130. I don't see a ton of runs. I know the Astros got some yesterday. It was really Jordan hit a big homer. He had a big day, and they got a few extra after
he had
that.
a big day, and other than that, they did absolutely jack shit, nothing offensively. 3 games against Kansas City. That's concerning.
Oh, I know. Yeah, believe me. I was on those unders, so I know all about them and losing it yesterday. But I like it here. I know good crazy first fights. Blanco is the big. I think Flaherty could be okay because there's certain times I think in the second half of the year going on, I like to fade him a little bit on the road. But he's looked great to start the year. And Blanco, great start against them last year. I think at home, shut them out. He has some good numbers. Especially he has good command here. Doesn't walk anybody. Yeah, I like the first 5 under here. 4.
Don't underestimate, too. When A.J. Hinch goes back to Houston, he always wants to beat those guys. I think Tigers will be ready for this series. He's always got that, hey, he threw me under the bus for the cheating nonsense years ago. A.J. Hinch, I think you won't have to worry about him getting the Tigers up and ready for this game in this series, going back to Houston. Where he, of course, used to manage this Astros team. All right, next up, we've got Atlanta and Colorado. Even money both sides here, minus 110. The total here sitting at pretty much 10 across the board. You've got Bryce Elder and Ryan Feltner here, the pitching matchup in this one. Now, Bryce Elder is a guy that was not pitching well, and then all of a sudden, I took the over in that last game he started against St. Louis, and he pitched a gem. He was great. I mean, he only gave up 1 run in 6 innings against the St. Louis. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? So he was suddenly really good in that start. Now, can he keep that going? It's always important to look at past history at Coors Field. That's always vital for an opposing pitcher. And Bryce Elder's made 1 start here at Coors. It was in August of 2023. He gave up 4 runs, 8 hits, and 6 innings. It wasn't great. So, not a guy I'd say, whoa, he pitched well against St. Louis. Let's see if he can do it again. I got to see it before I believe it. Meanwhile, Ryan Feltner has actually given up 1 run in 2 of his last 3 starts, and one of them was at Coors Field. He pitched well, struggled a little bit before that against the A's. The one concern, I guess, would be against Atlanta. Now, it was years ago, so a little bit of a different lineup, obviously, but he did give up 9 runs and 8.2 career innings against Atlanta. So we'll see how he fares here. The bottom line is the Braves, you look at the offense, it has finally started to come to life. They had a good weekend in Arizona with the Bats, 20 runs in the 3 games. They have scored 4 runs or more, C-Mac, now in 9 straight games, Atlanta. So the lineup's starting to hit. I don't know. What I think is I'm kind of neutral with the pitching matchup, but somehow, some way, if it's not Feltner early, it's the Rockies bullpen late that will just give you runs, gift you runs. to the opponent. And look what they've given up. They give up 8 to Cincy, 6 to Cincy, 8 to Cincy, 6 to They gave up 6 runs and 7 runs to Kansas City on the road last week. Royals can't hit for the most part this year. And here's Colorado still giving up 7 runs to the likes of the Royals. So I wouldn't talk anyone, CMAC, out of Braves team total, even though it's at 5.5. Somehow, some way, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Braves get to 6 because everybody seems to score 6 these days against the Colorado Rockies. CMAC, what do you think here? Atlanta, Colorado.
Yeah, what Feltner do we get here? I think Elder could give up some. It's just like waiting around for the Rockies lineup to score some runs is tough. Look, it didn't happen yesterday. That's just Lodolo was good, of course. Especially the first 5 or whatever 6. He had a no hitter, but that kept me thinking in that game to take the under because I'm like the Reds got to get all the runs here. You got to score 12 to get that game over. So I don't know what Elder we kind of get, but maybe he shuts down the Rockies. Yeah, I think the Braves starting to swing it back. I like Austin Riley. He's been getting hot, and a bunch of other guys too. Albies, Harris, been stepping up. So I like his RBI prop. I think the Braves take care of business here. I don't mind the team total here a little bit too. Even the 5.5. There's a couple 5.5s I like here today, which normally I try to stay away from.
Coors is the one exception, where I'm a little more, I'm more keen on taking a team total over 5.5 there than I would be in other ballparks. That's for sure. All right, final game for this short Monday card. We've got Miami, the Marlins taking on the LA Dodgers. Dustin May and Edward Cabrera on the mound here. Dodgers minus 270, home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. This is what you're going to have to deal with the Dodgers this year. They're going to have these runs where it's like, what's happened to the offense all of a sudden? And, of course, they got blanked in the opener against Pittsburgh by Paul Skeens. But, then you see what they're capable of. They destroyed Mitch Keller and the Pirates bullpen and Bailey Falter and the Pirates bullpen after that. They win 8-4 and 9-2. 17 runs in the final 2 games of that series over the weekend against the Pirates. That's what the Dodgers are capable of. And what's concerning to me is the way Edward Cabrera is pitching. He's not pitching well. 8 runs, 9 innings in his last 2 starts, 9 hits, and he's given up a home run in each of his starts this year. So a right-handed pitcher struggling to keep the ball in the yard, that's almost like the perfect prototype of a pitcher the Dodgers could absolutely feast on here tonight in this game. So the question is, what do the Marlins do against May? Because May was pitching well, and then all of a sudden he got rocked big time by the Cubs. 7 runs, 10 hits, 5 innings in Dustin May's last start. Now, he did pitch well in his 2 previous starts this year at Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium against Atlanta and Colorado. See if that continues here for him. So he has pitched well at home. Miami's an offense, though, that's actually started to come to life. You look at their last 8 games, 10, 7, 6, 4, 8, 6 yesterday against Seattle. The only game they got blanked was Castillo in that Seattle series. So the Marlins bats are starting to swing it. If they could even just get a couple runs, 3 runs off the Dodgers, May and the bullpen, I think the Dodgers are going to do a number on Edward Cabrera and the Marlins bullpen. So I think over 8.5 can get there here tonight with the Marlins and the Dodgers. CMAC, what do you think?
Yeah, there's been just a ton of runs, too, between these 2 teams going back the last couple of years. It's overs have been crazy. I don't know how Cabrera pitches well here. It's already been rough, and he hasn't even had a start on the road. I think it's a bounce-back start for May. It was just right away. He didn't have it. He got lit up there early. I think the over could get there. I think the Dodgers, it's plus money, another 5.5. This was the other one of the few today that I liked. Cabrera struggled for the most part against them, and I just don't know with his command, his problems walking people. I don't know how the Dodgers don't score 6 here. It's plus 115 too, so I like that.
Yeah, give me 6-3 Dodgers, 6-4 Dodgers, 7-3 Dodgers.
Let's make it 9, but we'll take the 6. That cashes.
Whatever gets me 9 total runs in this game, I'm happy with because I'm on the full game over here, 8.5. By the way, Miami 5 straight overs on the road. They're actually a whopping, I believe, the strong over team on the strong over team overall. 12-3 to
start the year. Yeah,
15 games for Miami. 12 of their last 15 games have gone over the total. And you mentioned series history, all the overs. I think all but one of the last 10 meetings, Marlins versus Dodgers, has gone over the total. All but one. So
yeah, sounds right.
everything's pointing to the over here. So hopefully it's not 2-1 when you see all these things that point to runs here. But I like over 8.5 here. Good stuff, C-Mac. Anything on the Jack of the Day prop card that you're liking here as far as home runs tonight?
Yeah, definitely Ramirez. I gave out the RBI early and his home run, and Austin Riley there too. Coors 60 degrees, wind's blowing in a little bit, but he just travels so well. I don't think it's that big a deal, especially with these two pitchers. Well, especially Feldner, who can give it up in the air. That was about it. I have a couple more, but I haven't bet anything.
All right, there you go. I like it, though. Good stuff indeed. All right, as far as for me with the home run props tonight, there's a couple that definitely stand out here. As far as I like Kerry Carpenter for Detroit. I think he might be able to go yard tonight against Ronel Blanco and the Astros. I think that might be a solid look there as far as that is concerned on the board here tonight. I'm just trying to see. I think there was another one that I was interested in here. Yes, it's our old friend here, and he. I remember saying bet him to score, hit a home run against Colorado on Friday night for Cincinnati, and he did. And I'm telling you what, I think he's about to heat up. Spencer Steer for the Cincinnati Reds. There's one, and he's in the plus 600, 650 range to hit a jack tonight for the Cincinnati Reds there at Great American Ballpark against Palante and the Cardinals. So that's, I think, a pretty solid one as well. Spencer Steer is going to get that back going, and once he does for Cincinnati, watch out. C-Mac,
look to the Dodgers here. Yeah. Like someone like Conforto, he's 4 for 10. Payos all of a sudden's hitting. They desperately need him at the bottom of the order. He's plus 700. So that may be a couple guys with big prices against Cabrera to look at.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, especially in a game where, and he's had issues with the home run ball for Miami, Edward Cabrera. We'll see if that haunts him again here tonight. All right, best bet time to wrap things up. C-Mac, where are you going here, and what do you got for best bet?
Wow, I don't really have a best bet, but give me here. Let's gonna go Dodgers team total 5.5. That cashes, but just give me that Dodgers over 5.5 is plus money. Plus 115 over 5.5.
There we go. I think that's a good one. I like it there. Dodgers team total over 5.5 for C-Mac with his best bet for this Monday night. My best bet for this Monday card. Let's go to let's take those Detroit Tigers. Going back to Houston for AJ Hinch, the manager of the Tigers. Always wanting to beat that team. I'm sure of it. And I just think, I like Jack Flaherty the way he's pitching. I don't trust the Astros lineup. You're what C-Mac said is 100% true. Outside of a couple big hits from Yordan Alvarez in the finale against Kansas City on Sunday, they did jack shit offensively at the plate. They let Waka and Lugo shut them out in the first 2 games of that series. So it's not like I trust this Astros lineup right now. And I think the Tigers find a way to get it done here on the road. I like the price. Detroit plus 100 is the best out. Actually, plus 106, best price currently available. Detroit Tigers to get it done tonight against Houston for my best bet. Shout out to the chat. Justin McKelvey, Oldie, Spoons Bets, Morgan Spooner, Redbeard, Fernando Mendoza, KP, Gerald Jones, Jorge Herrera, Ricky Bobby. We appreciate all you guys. And thanks for joining us. And again, just like often this season, it's another week where we'll be here with you Monday, today, obviously, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday. Thursday, again, no show with majority of games, day games. So, again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday with the MLB Hitting the Books show. That's a wrap. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.